Are you Googling the laws right now? Because that's really what you should be doing right now.
Mr. Ward, you understand that they don't have a right to search your home without a warrant, correct?
By your theory, he wouldn't be able to arrest him on a kidnapping charge too.
Well, it's not my theory, it's the code.
In your training, do you remember being taught write your reports and make them as complete and as accurate as possible?
That's correct.
What procedure did you follow?
Actually, I don't remember.
These are the moments when dumb cops get humiliated by lawyers. In 2018, powerhouse DUI attorney Larry Foreman faced off against a bold, self-assured police officer who had just arrested his client for drunk driving. But here's the twist. The officer never even finished the full field sobriety tests. What happened next? Larry was locked, loaded, and ready to completely dismantle the case, and the courtroom was about to witness a masterclass.
You've been doing this quite a while, 16 years, is that right?
I feel like that's a substantial amount of time, yes.
I would agree. That's a long time to be doing something like this. Recertified, you went to Richmond 16 years ago, I presume?
Correct.
And there you were given, was it, you said a 22-week course at the time?
Yes, sir.
I think they've since changed that. I think it's a little bit longer now, but
I think it's went longer and then went shorter, and there was
Yeah.
some homeland security issues that we had to go through, and I think that's why the course actually went longer.
in your training, do you remember being taught to write your reports and make them as complete and as accurate as possible?
That's correct.
And they taught you that because in the future, a jury may rely on it, right?
It's basically our field notes, and it's our report for what happened on the scene.
The jury would rely on it, wouldn't they, at some point?
I don't know if the jury relies on it.
As we are here today, we're not relying on the report?
Mr. Woods was first pulled over for speeding, then forced to stand outside in the freezing cold without a jacket. And that was just the start.
And you saw Mr. Woods pass you, which you later determined was, by pacing him at least, 10 miles over the speed limit.
That's correct.
But you've stated that you've detected the odor of alcohol coming from the vehicle.
Yes.
Did you ask him out of the vehicle immediately right then, or did you go back to the car, radio for backup? What procedure did you follow?
Actually, I don't remember. Normally, if I observe an odor of alcoholic beverages, I'll ask the subject to exit the vehicle at that point. I don't remember that case. I know that you said that I walked back and got back into my vehicle. I don't remember doing that.
As expected, the officer suddenly couldn't recall a single detail the defense threw at him. But then, the focus shifted to the heart of the arrest, the field sobriety tests.
You stated that eventually you got Mr. Woods to perform the HGN, also known as the horizontal gaze nystagmus test.
That's correct.
And I remember, because I wrote it down, on direct, you've stated, quote, alcohol can cause nystagmus, right?
That's correct.
And there are other causes of nystagmus as well. Do you remember being taught at the academy?
I'm not a medical doctor, and I do remember that. And I think there are some other drugs, PCP being one, inhalants being one, and if I'm not mistaken,
Are you aware that heredity or diet can also create nystagmus?
I've never heard that.
What about caffeine?
I know that there had been some research done on caffeine, and I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, I remember them saying that they didn't believe that affected the nystagmus.
What about eye muscle fatigue? What about extreme chilling?
I haven't heard that either, sir.
Aside from the eye test, the officer skipped the rest and went straight to arresting Mr. Woods for DUI. But Larry wasn't done. He had a few sharp questions left up his sleeve.
Do you remember, I know it's been a long time, as a matter of fact, I'm going to ask this question before I ask my next one. 16 years ago, you completed the 40 hours, which is standard in Richmond to this day to complete for the standardized field sobriety and DUI detection training.
That's correct.
Did you ever recertify at any point? Because you can recomplete A-RIDE, which is the Advanced Roadside Impairment Driving Education.
I have had the advanced DUI course. I don't know when. It's been years ago that I have had the advanced DUI training course. I have completed parts of the 40-hour course again. Maybe the whole course, I'm not sure, on the field sobriety test.
Do you remember when that was? I'm just trying to get a feel for it.
It's been years.
Do you remember during the course and the recourse, you were taught, because I've taken the course myself, in Georgia with a DRE certified. He's got all the credentials. He's a DRE. What do you call it?
Drug recognition.
No, he's an instructor. He's instructor certified. You know, you can get DUI, you can get in DUI instructor certification, you can get DRE, and DRE instructor is pretty much the highest, where you can teach other officers at this point what drug recognition expert is and how to become one, essentially. You're aware of that? Okay.
The lawyer grilled the officer hard, breaking down his credibility piece by piece. And before wrapping up, Larry made sure he walked away with a lesson he wouldn't forget.
Mr. Woods never asked for you to repeat the implied consent
Not that I recall.
prior to asking him to submit to the breath test, which he refused. And then you've also stated that it appeared to you that he understood everything.
He didn't ask me. As far as I remember, if he would have asked something, I would have listed it in the report. But obviously, he didn't ask anything, so.
Those are all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
In the end, the jury sided with the defendant. No jail time, no license suspension, a clear win that proved just how sharp and unstoppable Larry Foreman really is. Next up, a cocky, corrupt cop who had no clue an attorney was silently watching on the video call. He pulled over a driver and came in hot, full of intimidation, until he got hit with a brutal reality check.
For just a minute here, you said you've had nothing to drink this evening.
Hello, officer.
Have you had anything?
Hello.
I'm not talking to you. Who are
I'm
you?
his attorney, sir.
Okay, well, he can talk to you after the traffic
He
stop,
has the
man.
right to have his attorney present during any questioning by police.
That's fine, but I'm not going to talk to you right now. All right, so what I'm going to need you to do is perform a couple steps or a couple tests for me, okay?
Field sobriety tests are
Yeah.
voluntary, sir.
Ma'am, I'm not
I'm
talking
talking
to you.
to my client.
With the Attorney Shield app in play, the officer had nowhere to run. Caught red-handed and absolutely dismantled by the razor-sharp attorney, watching it all unfold live. What makes it even more humiliating? Getting schooled on the law by someone younger, sharper, and 10 steps ahead, as you'll see in this next case.
Alright, anything else I can help you guys with?
No, you're good.
You're just gonna stand around and get paid?
Yeah, sure.
You're just gonna stand around and get paid, brother?
On September 15th, 2023, New Mexico University law student Joel Martinez uploaded a video capturing his run-in with campus police. And the reason they confronted him? So absurd, you'll have to see it to believe it.
Oh, sorry. How can I help you?
Is there anyone else in here?
No, it's just me.
Okay. You mind just opening the door that way I can see?
What you trying to look for?
I just want to make sure there's no one else in there to
Well,
start, and then I'll talk to you about
Oh, no, there's no one in there right now.
Okay.
Alright.
Come out here and talk to me then.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be honest with you. So we got a report that you were seen walking into your dorm with alcohol. So is
Okay.
there alcohol in there?
I don't answer questions. What's your name and your badge number?
Officer Purtle, NMSU Police.
Title and name?
The security officer.
Do you have an ID with you?
I do. What crime and how can you articulate it?
Minor in possession of alcohol. We got a report that you were walked in.
So it's like here that they said thing?
Okay.
It's a, yeah, right? It's like they said that he has. And that's how you're gonna articulate it.
So we don't have to go down this route. If you wanna go down this route, we can.
Well, I really don't, but like I'm studying right now. I'm doing homework. Get knocked on my door. I'm out here. I want to know what's on. You say that they said that there's alcohol in this room.
Okay.
Oh, they saw me going into this room and that there's alcohol in there. How can you articulate it though?
That's right, these officers were actually questioning Martinez, a college student, for simply having a drink while studying. If that doesn't show how out of touch some law enforcement has become, I don't know what does.
So I still need to ID you,
No.
and then we need to go from there.
You have to suspect me of a crime.
I do.
You realize that cops in New Mexico don't have qualified immunity, right?
I do that. I do.
Okay, so from here on, let's just be careful with what you're about to do right now. You're saying that you want my ID, but right now you or yourself can't articulate a crime that I've committed.
Okay.
So
I already explained to you why I'm here. Why I
okay,
need
I
your
know
ID.
I know what you're here, but okay, is my ID gonna tell you if there's alcohol in that room?
No, but I still need to identify you.
My name is Joel.
Joel what?
Joel.
I need your first, last name, and your date of birth. If you don't want to provide that,
You
to
don't
me,
want to call Officer Donovan or one of your supervisors here?
Yeah, I can get a sergeant over.
All right,
here if you'd
then
like.
calling up because right now, this is not what you want to do right now. Because this is a violation of my Fourth Amendment.
Okay. Let me
Okay.
get a sergeant over here. Okay.
Yeah. All right, is anything gonna happen if I don't identify myself?
You can be arrested for concealing identity, yes.
So okay, so that's what I want you to say. If you don't ID to me right now, if I don't give you my ID, that you're gonna arrest me. I want you to give me that ultimatum.
So, just hold on. You want to wait? You said you wanted to wait to speak to a supervisor, so let's just do that.
Okay, then. Okay, thank you.
The officers stood there like deer in headlights as Martinez calmly hit back with cold hard facts, quoting actual New Mexico law, which, embarrassingly, they seemed completely clueless about.
So, made contact with him at the door. He got his phone out and started recording right away.
Okay.
I explained to him why we were here. Got a report that he walked in there with alcohol. Asked him if anyone else is in the room. He said, no one else is in the room. Like, okay, can you open the door so I can see? Make sure no one else is in there. I'm not going to do that. Okay, come out here and talk to me. Okay, so he comes out. So, are you suspecting me of crime right now? Am I being detained? All that kind of stuff. Explained to him what was reported to us, that he's suspected of taking alcohol into his dorm room, underage, and that I needed to identify him. Like, well, that's all hearsay. What is that going to do if you identify me? Well, we're suspecting you of a crime. It's a misdemeanor. So I at least need to identify you. What we do from there, whatever. But he gave me his first name as Joel.
Realizing what Martinez was capable of, the cop quickly changed his tone, scrambling to huddle with his partner, trying to figure out a game plan. But Martinez wasn't having any of it.
Doesn't want to give last name or date of birth, and asked to speak to Officer Donovan or one of my supervisors.
Okay. So right now we have minor in possession of alcohol, possibly.
And he asked me if anything's going to happen if I don't, or if he doesn't give me his name and date of birth. I told him that potentially you could be arrested for concealing identity if we want to go that route. Okay, I want you to give me that ultimatum right here, right now, that if I don't give you my ID, that you're going to arrest me for concealing identity. And I said, well, you want to talk to the supervisor, so how about we just wait till the sergeant gets here? Are you aware that MSU, or that New Mexico doesn't have qualified immunity? Yeah, so he went down that route, so I think that's what he's trying to get at. So that's pretty much where we're at.
Okay.
Hi, name and badge number, please.
Sergeant John Lovelace. My badge number is 212.
212. All right, thank you. Officer said here that if I don't ID, I will be subject to arrest. Is that true?
Possible, yes.
Possible, yes or no? I need that ultimatum, or else I won't get my ID.
Okay, so technically right now, yes, you could be arrested.
Could. I need a yes or no.
Another officer showed up, totally unaware of Martinez's sharp legal mind and ready to dish out the usual heavy-handed tactics. But what happened next? Let's just say it flipped the script completely.
I need you to tell me, if you don't give me your ID right now, I'm going to arrest you.
Why would I say that to you?
Because I need that ultimatum, because right now you're asking.
Yes.
And I have the right to say no, because you're asking. It's not a lawful order. Okay. I need you to make it a lawful order.
You're being detained for suspicion of minor in possession of alcohol. You need to see your ID.
Okay, and if not?
And if not, you could be considered concealing identity.
Because New Mexico statute says that concealing of identity is a secondary charge. I would have to have been arrested or suspected of a crime. No, right now, you hear just hearsay.
Arrested or suspected. You're being suspected of having possession.
On what grounds?
Okay, so do you have any alcohol in your possession?
I don't answer questions. On what grounds? I don't answer questions.
Okay, so who are you talking to?
I'm recording you.
So here's the deal. By saying could, what we were trying to do is we're trying to be cooperative with you and have you be cooperative with us and help us clear this matter up.
Okay, I gave him my name, Joel.
What's your last name?
You don't need my last name and you do not need my date of birth unless you want to run my name through your system. Are you trying to run my name through the system?
Do you have warrants for your arrest?
I don't answer questions. I don't answer questions.
The officer made a bold move, trying to twist the statute and actually negotiate with Martinez on why he supposedly knew more about the law than a law student actively studying. Bold, but definitely not bright.
I'm asking questions. I don't. It's my Fifth Amendment. Is it or is it not?
Okay. So the question is that like the officer told you, you're being suspected of having possession of alcohol underage. So in that case, the easiest way to prevent this is for you to let us know. Either somebody saw you carry a case of beer. You have a case of beer in your possession?
I don't answer questions.
Okay. The next step in this process would be, would you give us consent to check your room?
Nope.
To make sure that
Nope.
you have no alcohol in your possession?
Nope, I do not consent to any searches nor seizures.
Okay, very good. To you, how you want to play this.
You could get a warrant, or you could,
So
or you have probable
right
cause.
now,
Go
right
ahead.
now, we do have reasonable suspicion that possibly a crime had been committed.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to investigate that. You're certainly welcome to refuse if you wish,
I know.
but we need to ID you.
Or
And if you do not present your identification, you can face a non-traffic
Could.
citation.
you're saying could. I need you to
Because
say
I'm
you
giving
will.
I'm giving you the opportunity to.
No, I need that
be
ultimatum.
cooperative
I will
with
give
us.
you my ID if you say that I'm going to go get arrested if I don't give it to you.
So you'll give us if we say that.
If you say that, yes, sir. Because that's already grounds for me to set up litigation against you.
So you're threatening to sue us.
I ain't threatening nothing, brother.
That's what you just said.
It's not a
It
threat.
gives you grounds to.
It's not a threat. It gives me grounds. Does it or does it not?
The officer even slipped up and admitted it. Martinez had every right to refuse cooperation if no crime was proven, and he wasn't obligated to show ID without a warrant.
Okay, so the easiest and simplest solution to this is for you to tell us your name, date of birth.
Joel.
Joel what?
Joel.
By just saying Joel, there's 1,000 Joels. I need a last name and a date of birth.
For
in
what?
order to
You're gonna
confirm.
run?
In order
I
to
told
confirm
you want
who
my
you
name.
are for the report, I need to have your name and date
You
of birth.
could.
It's
I
that
didn't
simple.
even have to give you my first name for that report. You could literally put the citizen or the guy or the suspect. Yes, you
It doesn't
can.
work like that.
Yes, it does. I'm a law student here. You're not gonna come over here and try to violate my rights.
So I'm not trying to violate your rights. I'm trying to be cooperative with you, and you be cooperative
Okay,
with us.
cooperate with me and accept that I'm not gonna give my ID unless I'm gonna get arrested. Say it and I'll give you my ID. Just say if you don't give me your ID, I'm gonna arrest you.
So you want us to threaten
You want us to
Yes, I
threaten you?
want you to give me that ultimatum if you really want the ID.
Threaten you. That's not how this is gonna
Why? Because you know you can't. You know you don't have that ultimatum. You know you can because you know that opens up for litigation. And to make this clear, I'm detained right now, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
Have to stay over.
No, I can't. I'm in your view.
I'm telling you, you need to stay over here.
Don't let him intimidate you. Oh, let me take my hand on my pocket.
Thank you. I
There's two
appreciate
guys
it.
right here with Glocks and scared of a 19-year-old with the phone, bro.
Well, I'm not scared of a 19-year-old with the phone I have. Come on, man, don't do that, okay?
No.
Seriously,
Can you,
that's
stick your
just
hand out
that's
your
just
pocket?
be.
Do you see something in my pocket?
Okay, well, we would like for you to do that for us, just to be cooperative.
Oh,
okay?
just to be
So-
cooperative, like just
Come on,
like for you to
don't-
say what you want me to do. Are you googling the laws right now? Because that's really what you should be doing right now.
When the officers saw they couldn't strong-arm Martinez into giving up his rights, they dropped the act and shifted to straight-up intimidation, like playground bullies desperate to save face.
All right, cool.
You okay with that?
Yeah, continue reading.
Are
the
you
statute.
sure you're okay with that?
Yeah. I give you permission.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
appreciate it. Okay, so here's why we need your name and date of birth. I'm going to read you the law because you are a law student, okay?
Sean, can you
According to
can
New
you again?
Mexico, it's all being recorded.
Yeah, I know,
My
but those
body
are hard to
camera's
get.
running.
So I'm gonna use my own.
So concealing identity consists of concealing one's true name or identity or disguising oneself with the intent to obstruct the due execution of the law,
Am I obstructing?
or, yes, technically you are, with the intent to intimidate, hinder, or interrupt any public officer or any person in illegal performance of his duties or exercise of his rights under the law of the United States.
Okay, so your investigation is investigating that I'm in possession of alcohol, right?
That's exactly
Okay,
what
and
we
if I don't
said.
give you, if I give you my ID, is that gonna tell you if I do or do not have alcohol in that room?
If
Or is it
you-
just a way,
if you
pathway
deny-
to find me with something?
No, the ID is so that we can identify who we are talking to. If you wish to deny us access to that room, that is totally within your rights.
I know.
But you refusing to identify yourself
I
to
know.
us by name and date of birth,
Yeah.
full name,
Mm-hmm.
date of birth, that is concealing identity.
Martinez had them so twisted, they literally had to Google the laws he cited, proving they didn't even know the very rules they were supposed to enforce. Total embarrassment.
Okay, so just tell me
So,
that if I don't give you
can-
the ID, you're gonna arrest me. Just
Okay.
say it.
Show us your ID. We need to see your ID, or
Or-
you will be arrested.
Thank you. Y'all got that right? Yeah. Yeah, you got that. Fucking pigs, fool, for real.
Why do you use that term?
Cause why the fuck are you searching my shit? Like,
We're not searching
no,
your,
that's a
Go ahead and identify him real quick,
seize of
please.
my identification. Is it or is it not?
it's not a seizure. We just
Is
need
a
to confirm.
seizure of my identification, yes or no?
We just need to see who you are in order to
I
go
told you my
forward in the
fucking name.
investigation.
Told you my fucking name. Today I did
Your
not.
legal name.
My
You gave
legal
us your
name.
first name.
What is my Joel? Not the legal name or what?
Joel what?
He has my ID. Go look at it.
Perfect. That's all we
Yeah.
needed. Thank you. That's all we needed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go down here real quick, please. Okay, so he's denying us for consent to search, that's
No, that's
fine.
fine.
But we have him ID'd, so we're gonna make sure we take a report.
Yep.
And then, so basically we got called, somebody suspected him of having alcohol in his dorm room, carrying a case of beer in. He's 19 years old. We will take a case report on it. There'll be a case number drawn. Pretty much, basically, he's pushing the issue on the concealing identity, but now that we've negated that, we don't have to do any more. We will take a report just to document the incident.
Completely outmaneuvered by Martinez, the officers were left with no choice but to deliver the very ultimatum he'd been daring them to make, all while he mocked them, adding the perfect sting to bruise their fragile egos.
Are they?
Oh, wait, they're right here.
They're still here, bro.
Hi.
Oh, stand right here.
Just listening. 2-0.
Yeah, you're listening? Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else I can help you guys with?
We
No,
just
So
danced.
you're just gonna stand around and get paid?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think we can just prove some braces. I'm gonna get complaints on both of your asses.
Okay.
And Chief Donovan's gonna know about this shit because he knows who I am.
Chief Donovan knows you.
Chief Donovan knows who I am.
Okay, very good.
All right. Did you find out if there's alcohol in here or not with that ID? Nah. So
Well,
what the fuck
you
was
denied
the
us
point?
consent, so that's fine.
I didn't give you consent. You could,
Exactly.
If you could, you wouldn't.
So
If you
we're not
could, you
gonna
would've
argue with you. Have a
done
nice
it.
day.
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, this is actually a common area, so we're allowed to be
Get the
here.
fuck out. Go work. I paid you for something. Get out of here. Yes, I
Why
paid
are
you
you
for
doing
something.
this?
Get out of here. Because you fucking got my ID for no fucking reason, brother.
Oh, okay.
As the officers retreated in full defeat, Martinez did what we all secretly wish would happen in moments like this. He stood his ground, relished the win, and let them know a lawsuit was on the table for their disgraceful behavior.
Okay, I'm gonna go back by.
Sounds good.
I'm over on the other side.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I will call the deputy. I will call the chief real quick and just let him know
Sounds good.
that supposedly there's going to be a complaint on us. So
Joel Martinez.
Joel Martinez.
Arrest their asses,
Okay.
man.
At last, a truly satisfying ending to what's too often a one-sided abuse of power, quietly swept under the rug. But not this time. In the case of Swanson and Hall, real intelligence took the spotlight as Martinez single-handedly made these cops choke on their own arrogance and served them a dose of justice they won't forget. However, in this next case, another overconfident cop absolutely owned and humbled on the spot.
You choose not to talk to me this time?
Sir, you do not have to answer any questions asked by the police. You have a right, constitutional right.
In May 2024, a driver got pulled over for speeding, but instead of panicking, he opened up Attorney Shield the moment the cop approached. Just like that, he didn't have to say a word. Legal backup was live and ready.
You should not know I was going to pull you over.
Hi, I'm Attorney Giovanna Delgado.
I got that, but I'm dealing with you. Do you speak English or do you need an interpreter? Okay, so here's the deal. I have you moving at high rate of speed. Do you know what the speed limit is?
Ma'am, you don't need to answer any questions.
But I'm talking to you. Is this your driver's license? Is this not your driver's license? Do you choose not to talk to me this time?
Sir, you do not have to answer any questions asked by the police. You have a right, constitutional right protecting you from
I have you speeding. I have you moving at a high rate of speed. I have you on camera. It's up to you on whatever you want to do. I will suggest next time that when you do see lights, don't cut over right away. Let's give traffic a little bit of time, and then let's move all the way over to the shoulder, shall we? All right, so I have you at 77 and 60, and you'll be receiving a citation for that today. Thank you.
No surprise here. These officers practically freeze up when a real attorney's on the line. They know the moment they speak, their lies and power plays will be torn apart instantly.
Sorry, we didn't get connected quicker.
No, it just happened. He was pretty quick at getting out of his car.
Okay. Because someone else is in the car with you, like this isn't a protected communication, but I just want you to know that you have rights to not answer questions, which it seems like you do know that because you weren't answering the officer's questions. What did he say he pulled you over for?
Speeding, 77 in a whatever, 60.
Okay.
He didn't even ask for my insurance. He was more distracted with you.
The moment the officer realized an attorney was present, he clammed up fast. It's tough to play the intimidation game when you know the person in front of you has solid legal backup watching your every move.
All right, do you speak English? Ma'am, does he speak English?
He does speak English, sir.
All right, you understand English? That's all I need to know. All right, here's your driver's license back. So why for you to give me a citation for 77 and 60, I'm back at his phone number, get a phone number call. If you wish to contest, set up a court date, otherwise they'll let you know how to take care of it. I understand that you're not paying attention to me at this time. I'm going to just assume that all the information on here, because you're not talking to me, is correct as far as where you do live. So I'm going to need you to take this from me. And then you do need to get off the video chat while you're driving in the state of Minnesota because you can't be on an electrical device like that, okay? If there's any questions, you do need to take this from me, sir.
You would please, ma'am?
Sir, you should.
It's up to you.
You can take.
You shoulder give speed, move, feel safe to do so. This isn't court right now. I am talking to you as a driver. Again, she's not the one driving. What I need you to do is use the shoulder give speed, move over when you feel it's safe to do so.
It sounds like that was the end of the interaction.
The attorney made sure this stop stayed strictly by the book, because without that legal presence, we all know how quickly things can spiral when dealing with power-hungry cops. Next up, the courtroom was stunned. This lawyer's mastery of the law left even the judge speechless.
By your theory, he wouldn't be able to arrest him on the kidnapping charge too.
Well, it's not my theory, it's the code.
In November 2024, a man named Trevor stood before Judge David Fleischer, facing charges for carrying marijuana and a weapon in his car. The courtroom fell silent as the judge began laying out the details of the case.
You're Trevor Flores.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Upon contact, the officers observed an odor of marijuana. The officers asked the defendant to step out of the vehicle and asked whether the defendant had the marijuana inside. The defendant admitted he did have marijuana inside, as well as a firearm. During the search of the vehicle, the officers found a handgun in plain view on the driver's side floorboard, not in holster. And the officers also located 13 grams of marijuana under the passenger seat.
All right, Mr. Flores, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license?
Since Trevor didn't have a lawyer, the court appointed one, and just a few hours later, he showed up ready to defend. You'd think that wasn't enough time to prepare, but this attorney came in swinging with a powerful argument that flipped the script.
He's charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon following a traffic stop. And I've got a map that is kind of intriguing, I think you'll find, just with the way it's drawn. But he stopped by an officer with the City of Bel Air Police Department. And may I approach to just show you this delineation? He's pulled over going northbound on 610 as he, what is described as, makes an unsafe lane change. So he's northbound on 610, wants to get on 59 to go southbound, is erroneously in the wrong lane going northbound. The officer says that she is observed him, makes that unsafe lane change, and that lane change is outside of the City of Bel Air Police Department jurisdiction.
The defense attorney spotted a critical flaw in how the officer conducted the stop, and he didn't let it slide. He zeroed in on the unlawful nature of the stop and tore into it with precision.
A particular statute that governs whether officers can have the authority to make a detention of someone when they are outside of their jurisdiction, and that's 14.03 of
their PD can still stop someone outside of Bel Air.
Well, not for, well, according to the code, it says a peace officer.
That would mean that any officer outside would never be able to do anything.
No, that's incorrect. There's a very limited exception, and that's what applies in this case. So it says a peace officer who's licensed and is outside of the officer's jurisdiction may arrest without a warrant a person who commits any offense within the officer's presence or view, other than a violation of Subtitle C, Title 7 of the Transportation Code.
The law couldn't be clearer. A police officer isn't allowed to make a traffic stop outside their city's jurisdiction. And just like that, the whole case, straight to the trash where it belongs.
But when it's for a traffic offense, that officer is required.
He's not arresting him for a traffic offense, though.
Well, that was the basis for the stop.
Sure.
But the way the code contemplates arrest, it's any, and that's defined in, I think, in chapter 15. And so this officer doesn't have the ability where that stop takes place to make that detention. That officer could detain him if he saw him committing theft, could detain him if he saw him committing an assault, can't for a transportation code
but
violation.
he stops him for whatever reason it is, right? Comes up to the car and he smells marijuana.
Yes.
Right?
Well,
and then
that's
don't they even get a drug sniffing dog? Is this the one where they get a drug sniffing dog?
It's genuinely refreshing to see a court-appointed lawyer go all in, putting in the effort, building a solid case, and backing it with sharp legal research. This attorney absolutely earned a raise, leaving the judge with more questions than answers and the prosecution scrambling.
My focus is solely the detention. I'm not.
It's certainly crafty. It's great, but he's not arresting him for the traffic offense.
Well, but I think we're looking at a limited scope of what arrest means. So I think you're looking at arrest as in being arrested.
You would be saying that really if he had committed an ag rob, right, or kidnapping, then even if he had kidnapped, like let's say he had a 2-year-old child in the car that he had kidnapped across state lines. Well, then according to this, because he's in a different jurisdiction, then he couldn't arrest him on that kidnapping charge too.
If he saw a kidnapping taking place, the officer could arrest him under that code. But what he can't do is when there's a traffic code violation, we don't allow for example, the El Paso Police Department to come to Houston and then sit on the street corner and arrest people for traffic violations. We don't allow them to make those stops.
Judge Fleischer openly acknowledged the attorney's standout performance, and his sharp argument didn't just shake things up. It seriously delayed, if not completely wiped out, any chance of a sentence for his client.
Is a peace officer who's outside of his jurisdiction able to enforce the traffic code?
I know where you're going and I've seen it before, but I'm not.
And we're looking at G1. So what it says in there is 5600, 610 northbound. And what's so curious about this is...
That's still in Bel Air? Is it outside of Bel Air?
That would be outside of Bel Air too.
I can't make that determination now.
Fair enough.
Number two,
yes,
he's not arresting him on a traffic offense.
Well, and I think what the code contemplates when it says arrest, and I think there's case law on this, is that it includes the concept of detention as that's been... Because I think when that code was written...
And so what I'm saying would apply as well, though. Like if he catches a 2-year-old kid, right, that's been kidnapped, by your theory, he wouldn't be able to arrest him on a kidnapping charge too.
The judge tried to brush it off as just the attorney's theory, but the lawyer wasn't having it. He fired back with a sharp, well-researched response that left the courtroom stunned, and the judge completely owned.
It's not my theory, it's the code.
If he has a dead body in the car, he wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, that's a legislature question. And I mean, but they wrote that.
I can't imagine that the legislature intended that. I think that they intended for a traffic, let's say for speeding, right? Or your tail light is out. Yeah, not to arrest in that respect. But he goes up to the car, smells marijuana, sees a gun in plain view. I can't imagine the legislature intended in that purpose.
And my position, of course, is that, this may be for a motion to suppress later down the line, and I think there's still plenty more to do in the case.
It's a freaking awesome argument.
But the idea
I love
is...
Mr. Wonderful.
No right to detain him.
Right? Really?
Once again, the judge couldn't help but be impressed. He acknowledged the strength of the attorney's argument and even stated he'd be taking a closer look, proof that the lawyer's point had real weight. Moving on, here's yet another powerful example of Attorney Shields stepping in right on time, protecting a civilian from blatant police misconduct and flipping the script once again.
Mr. Ward, you understand that they don't have a right to search your home without a warrant, correct?
You're not searching anything on this property without a warrant.
In August 2024, York County Police pulled over a young couple following a road rage incident after the other party accused them of flashing a gun. As the officers gathered outside their home, tensions rising, the girl's father showed up, bringing some critical advice that would change everything.
Why don't y'all record it? No, you get pulled over, pull your cameras out, record them, and get name and badge numbers. You know you're blocking traffic, right? You know that bus had to go on the grass to get around you, right? Which is illegal.
Get around it. Sir, you're welcome to banter, record, berate me. It's not going to change what I'm doing out here.
I don't give a fuck what you're doing. You're blocking traffic.
Okay.
I couldn't get around you, and the bus couldn't get around you. Anybody can ride down the street and say they saw a gun. You can be his little bodyguard all you want. Just stay out of my camera.
Who's the
name and badge number?
It's Sergeant Good, number 14.
The father, later identified as Bob, wasn't here to play games. He stood firm, defending his daughter's rights from the jump, but things escalated fast. Sergeant Good pushed harder, insisting on searching the house without a warrant. Huge red flag.
Okay, so you live here. Sir, I'm not your enemy. Okay, I understand you're apprehensive. You got a whole bunch of cops here and everything else. I understand that. I'm not here to bust your chops. I'm not accusing you of anything. So it is he said, she said at this point. Okay. But we also have to look at the motivation behind that call. Does that happen every day that just somebody randomly just picks out some random vehicle and says, hey, they did whatever?
Does it happen?
It can happen, but does it happen all the time?
So
No,
go
it
get a
doesn't.
warrant.
Okay, well then that's what we'll do.
You have to get a warrant.
Okay. All right.
You're
very
not
good.
searching anything on this property without a warrant.
What we're gonna do though in the meantime, because there is a firearm involved, alleged to be involved, is that we're gonna do a protective sweep of the residence. We can do that without a warrant. Okay, we're gonna make sure there's nobody in there with a loaded gun waiting to shoot us out the windows. Okay.
There isn't.
Well, I can't take your word for it.
And
I
you
took
can't
your
search
word
that.
for
You're
it.
not searching the
We're
house.
But Bob wasn't just legally sharp. He had the ultimate backup, Attorney Shield. Within moments, he had a lawyer on the line, and just like that, Sergeant Good found himself face to face with someone he couldn't push around.
This is Attorney. How do I see you requested support for a traffic stop today? Is that correct?
Yeah, my daughter was pulled over, and now they want to search the house.
Hey, I'm Sergeant Good with the York County Regional Police Department. Are you his representing attorney?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So what we have is we had a road rage incident where somebody described a pistol with extended magazine was pointed at them from a vehicle that's here in the driveway. The people that are here in the driveway, the police officers got here and saw them go into the house. And we want to try to confirm whether there's somebody in the house with an extended magazine pistol that was waving it at people or not.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Ward, you understand that they don't have a right to search your home without a warrant, correct?
I told them they cannot enter the house without a warrant.
Well, there's a difference between entering the house and doing a protective sweep to make sure there's not somebody in there pointing a gun at me right now. We wouldn't be searching the house. We'd be first doing a protective sweep, making sure there's no other people in the house that would do us harm. Then after that, we would apply for a search warrant to search the house for evidence.
Out of nowhere, Sergeant Good pulled the classic officer safety card, claiming they needed to do a so-called safety check of the house. But that's when the attorney stepped in and turned the scene into a full-blown law class, schooling the sergeant right on his own overreach.
Yes, sir, but you understand that he doesn't have to give you permission to enter his home unless you have a warrant.
Correct. For searching it. The protective sweep, I believe there's plenty of case law saying that we can make sure there's nobody armed and dangerous in there wanting to hurt us.
You know, it is his private property, so unless you have a search warrant, you don't have a right to enter his home.
Okay, we might agree to disagree on that point for entry, but anyway, we'll apply for a search warrant, and as long as these people all stay out here, maybe we don't need to do a protective sweep, and we'll just apply for the search warrant. So, all right, very good. Thank you.
No worries. You have a great day, sir.
It didn't take long for the attorney to completely take control. The sergeant's tone shifted fast. Realizing he was outmatched, he dropped the safety check act and scrambled to talk about getting a search warrant instead. No more unlawful sweep, just a desperate pivot.
I'm trying to look for cooperation, look for a specific weapon. If it's not there, great. But if you want to talk to him, see if there's anything that he wants to do with us, great. If not, we'll just secure the way we're at now. But we're not going to let anybody go back in the residence until we have a search warrant, because very well could be weapons inside, and he's actually admitted there's other weapons inside.
Yes, sir. I just, I have to protect my client's constitutional rights.
No, I get it. I totally understand. Yep. If somebody has this weapon and they're willing to escort us to it and get it, great.
There is no weapon they're talking about in this premises.
If there is no weapon, then I understand that also. But we can't just say, somebody says somebody did the same thing to you.
So anybody can call and say, hey, this guy has a gun.
Everything seemed to be moving in the right direction. Officers now forced to wait on a warrant. But just as things settled, Bob hit another unexpected snag and quickly turned to the attorney to figure out the next move.
So they're looking for a gun, and there is a bomb in the trunk of the car.
Okay.
I mean, they're going to get a warrant to search for a gun. So anything outside of the gun is nothing, right?
They can take it, right? That's all.
Unfortunately, if they get a warrant to search the car, I believe they can press charges for something else being found in the vehicle.
What if we just let them search it and all they find is a bomb?
It's going to be up to their discretion on whether
I will go to that shit and smash it right now. And what can they do about it?
They can charge you. All right, go ahead.
Knowing there was a small amount of marijuana in the car, Bob made a calculated move. He allowed the officers to search it as a goodwill gesture. His hope? They'd overlook the weed and focus solely on the alleged weapon, which of course didn't exist.
And just so you know, like, just because they're going to apply for a warrant doesn't mean that they're going to be successful in getting one.
We're just looking for a large pistol with an extended magazine. So that's it.
I appreciate you guys. Look at the car. Really, no gun in it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why the caller's adamant that she saw.
That's because we were recording them because they had a bat. Like they were literally waving the bat out the window. Like, pull over.
A bat?
Yeah,
Like a
a
baseball?
baseball bat. Yeah.
That's the only way you're entering the house.
These guys are saying, what's that?
It's the only way you're going to enter the house.
Right. No, I get that. And I'm not here to, flex on you or anything like that. Okay. But if my guys would have said, yeah, somebody carried a bag inside or something. But under the circumstances at that point, I don't think we are gonna search the house. I'm gonna tell you.
The gamble paid off. The officers ended their search and scrapped the idea of getting a warrant for the house. And the cherry on top? They reviewed a video Bob's daughter had recorded, clearly capturing the other party flashing the gun. Tables turned big time.
Close and south on the red line, so I told them. You know what I mean? It's not that, again, whenever we have a call that involves a firearm, we have to just caution. 14.
So it sounds like everything's wrapping up there. Is that correct?
It is. For now, I'll let you go for now. If anything else happens, I'll push the button again.
Okay.
Shortly after, Sergeant Good and his team left the scene. No ticket, no charges, and no more harassment for Bob and his family. All thanks to one sharp, fearless attorney who knew exactly how to shut it down. And that wraps up today's video. We witnessed cops get completely humbled by attorneys who actually know the law, something these officers clearly didn't expect. Lawyers remain one of the few forces that hold them accountable, and today, we saw exactly why. If you agree, show your support by liking this video, and stay tuned for more Real Justice in Action.